Hey guys, welcome to this week's Saturday Spotlight. Somewhat of a double feature on the bench today. I want to talk about these two guys. One of my favorite subjects to build is factory stock muscle cars. And these two definitely here were plenty full of muscle back in their day. And why do I have two of them on the bench today in the Spotlight? Well, there's a reason for that because I've always liked the Superbirds. Mainly because I'm a Richard Petty fan, and he pioneered this thing. He's the whole reason the Superbird came into existence in the first place. Albeit they weren't really popular with the public back in the day, but try buying one now fully restored. That's just an astronomical figure that I know I can't achieve. Anyways, but the reason I've got two on the bench here today is I got a goal that I want to do. These cars came in they called high impact colors. There was 7 of those in 1970, which among those colors was we had the Alpine White, which is represented here. There was Tor Red. I think this was a W1 code. I'm not 100% sure on that code. I may be wrong on that. The Tor Red was EV2. And there was a Vitamin C orange, which K2 code, Limelight, which is a lime green, J5 code, Lemon Twist yellow, Y1, a Blue Fire metallic, which is a B5 blue, very popular color. I think one of the most beautiful colors that Chrysler had. And then there was a Petty or Corporate blue. Now I don't know the exact code of that color. But if it was put on the Superbird, it would have on the fender tag, it would have a 999 as a paint code. Basically what that meant was being this was the Belvedere line, if any car got a color that was not part of that actual line, it would get a 999 paint code. So it could have been, like say, a B3 or something, but if it didn't come in that specific car line, then it would just get that 999 paint code. Anyway, a little bit of the paint, but what I want to do, my goal is, and I think I might have mentioned this in a past video, one of my goals is I want to build one of each of those colors. And what I wanted to do with it, I wanted to have certain features just one a little bit different than the other. So I'll explain that, and I can explain that between these two right here, because these here are the focus of this video. So we'll go ahead and get into this a little bit. Now this white one, this is the one I did first. Now I built one back in the 80s, and I did a yellow, but it was like a tester's rattle can. But for when I started doing for this, what I wanted to do in these 7 cars, this was my first one. So I'm gonna move this one out of the way for a second. And we'll bring this one in here to you. This is the Alpine White. Like I said, I believe it's a W1. I'm not 100% sure on that. But this car right here, guys, this was my first car that I painted after following Don Yost method of how he painted cars and everything. And in my opinion, it came out pretty nice. And then this does have a clear coat on it, and the decals are under the clear, so they're preserved. And then what I did with this one, the kit wheels were the Magnum 500. I actually took these wheels out of the 71 Barracuda and just did the rallies. I always liked the looks of the Superbirds with the rallies on there, and then just going back around here, it's got the chrome tips right there. And now I didn't have the bird decal. It had a standing bird right here, but I do have the Roadrunner. I think that came, this was Street Burners. I think the Street Burners Revell is what this was. So it had a couple extra different decals with it. But if you can see inside there, and I don't know how well it's going to show, but anyway, I got the console, bucket seats, console, floor shifter. And then go and open the hood here to actually just take it off. Okay, we got the 440 Magnum with, and this is the 6-barrel version. Now this particular kit had actually on the decals, had the air cleaner, had this decal, and it had this decal right in with the kit. But I've added heater hoses, and then some battery cables, and then I even got the power steering vacuum hose, or power brake vacuum hose there. Obviously, this didn't come with the, it's pretty generic on the belts because it didn't come with any kind of like other power steering belts or anything, just the alternator. So, and then got the dual sport mirrors on it, back where you can see it. And then the underside, now actually I started painting this with a different white, it's like a rattle can white, and that's why it's so much brighter, because that Alpine White, really guys, it's actually not a pure white, really. I mean, it is a different, it's a different breed of white. But so I did the bottom there. I built this one in 2019. Kind of detailed the chassis there. And anything else to tell about this one? Oh yeah, now the bird decals. Now this will go for the both of the cars. The bird decals right here. Now those were not in the kit. These were aftermarket. They didn't, apparently, I don't know if it's a licensing deal, Warner Brothers or whatever, but these are not in the kit. So what I did is I got on eBay, started looking around. I found a place called Slot Car Fever. And actually they have Superbird decals. And they got the standing bird. Now there was an issue with these one time, because if you put these on, these really will only show up on a white car. If you put them on a colored car, you lose all the colored kind of goes away on you. So what they did, they kind of reworked these, and this is a set of the reworked decals. So you got just a plain standing bird here, or you've got this Roadrunner here, which would be on this car. Here is what I got. So what they did is they gave they provided a white underlay right there. So you put the underlay on first, and then put your color over the top, and it just stands right out. Now this one I didn't have to worry about, because it's a pure white background, and everything showed up like it's supposed to. So, like I said, this one variant here I put on here was the rally wheels versus what you'll see on the Toro red one that I'll bring in next. But I did add, it's kind of hard to see. I don't know if you can see it in there or not. But anyway, I did add seat belts to it, front and back. Like I said, it's going to be hard to, it's really not going to show because the lighting's not the greatest right here. But anyway, it does have seat belts in it. But so I got the detailed engine compartment. I'll put that hood back on. Again, this is when I first used the Don Yost, his method of painting. I think it came out pretty well. And then this Toro, here's the Toro red version. So I've got 2 of the 7 completed, so 5 to go. But anyway, I did this one. I wanted a little variance on this one. So I did the white seats. Now, I did not add seat belts on this one. But it's got the bucket seats, console, floor shifter, your standard steering wheel there. And then, of course, there's that bird decal. Now, this was with the white underlay here on that. So that showed up really well on there now. And then this one has the Magnum 500 wheels. Now, these are out of the kit. Now, this is an old Monogram release. I think this was one of the original release kits right here. So they still build up really nice. But the Magnum 500 wheels, still got the steel belted radial tires, Goodyears. Then there's the back. Now this doesn't have a Roadrunner. This one had, the white one had the Roadrunner decal in the kit. This one did not. So there's just nothing on the back here. Then of course we'll get a look at this side. We'll look at the engine in this one. Not much different. Come on, buddy. Not much different than the other one. Pretty much all the same as the other one. Now this one here, I did depict the radiator information sticker here on there with just some yellow paint. And again, I got my heater hoses. I got a power brake hose there for the booster. And I got battery cables in this one. Right there you go. So it's got battery cables, and just dress up the underneath side of the hood there. And the bottom of this one I did just a little bit different. This one here I just like added the overspray like you would see. Just kind of, what I did is I think I sprayed it flat black, and then I just did just misted the paint on the side there, just kind of fogged it on. But there's the underneath side. I got, see the sway bar there. So just these are fun kits, guys. They really go together good. I think Monogram had it. Now I think they maybe lack a little detail. The door panels sides, they're a little the detail's a little thin on it, but still, I mean, they detail up pretty nice. And another issue I have with these is this. I'm trying to think. I think this bottle right here, one of these. I think it's this one. The overflow bottle should not be on there. I think this is a washer bottle, but this overflow bottle should not be on there. Now you could take your time and clean all that off and clean it up, trim it up, and get it like what the original would be. But just for sakes of extra time, it doesn't take that away that much from. Sometimes I guess if you don't point it out, you wouldn't even notice it. But anyway, that's one issue. And another issue, I always thought they had the stance a little wrong on these. Because I think this wheel actually should be up in the quarter panel just a little bit more. If you look at a real Superbird, it's not always raked up in the back like that. I mean, it's not bad, but I just always thought that was one thing that was just a little different than what the real car would be. But so that's my start for my 7 colors on the Superbirds. Like I say, plan on doing 7 of them, and then making a display. And there was actually a car that got out, a Superbird that got out. They call it the root beer Superbird. It was trying to think of what the I think it was a K5 color. It was like a burnt orange, and it got away. So I'm thinking about what I'm gonna do if I've got enough of these bird kits left when I'm done. I might actually build one of those too. So but yeah, so the 1970 Superbird, like I said, I won't go into the whole history on it just for the sakes of time. I'm trying to keep these spotlight videos just a little bit on the shorter side. But if you haven't read the history on these guys, go check it out, because they got a phenomenal history to these cars. And just one thing I'll tell you real quick, if you don't know, I will tell you this: these are 70 coronet fenders. In order to accept this nose cone, they use the coronet fenders on the front. They put this little filler panel in here down at the bottom. And some of these cars actually would have set on the lot. I've heard stories that they've set on the lot. The 1972 model year was already out, and they still had some of these cars setting unsold. For some reports. Now, whether that's 100% factual, that's just some reports that I've read. And what they would end up doing, they would end up taking the wing off, doing the body work on the panel back here, filling this in, repainting. They take the fenders, the cone off, the hood. They put standard Belvedere fenders and front end and hood back on it. And then they would just sell it off as a satellite, or I don't know if they'd sell it as a standard Roadrunner. I don't know how all that worked, but they'd end up just so they could sell them, because so many of these cars went on unsold. They made like an average of 1,935 of these. I think it was they built 2 cars, one car for every dealership or something like that in the country, Plymouth dealership, something like that. So they was kind of a rare bird back then, and they're really a rare bird now. So just interesting. It's got a very interesting history. So if you can, go back and check that entire history on these cars, because they're pretty fascinating. But anyway, that's just kind of a quick build, guys. Some of my past builds, I say a couple years old here, 2019, and this was 2021 or 22 that I built that one. So fairly new builds, but ones that I really haven't focused on the channel yet. So anyway, well, guys, that's it for this one. I hope that was informational and interesting as far as that goes for everybody. But just one of my favorite subjects is building factory correct as we can get with what the kit gives us anyway. That's one of my favorite genres, factory correct muscle cars, and putting them out. So like I said, I guess there's not much else to say about that. So we'll close it off there. And you guys be back here next Saturday for another spotlight. So for that, I'll say thanks for watching. If you guys like the video, give me a like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Thank you, subscribers. You guys have a great day. God bless you, and happy modeling.